never said no thank you please. So away with the last of the sour cream dip, get rid of the trifle, the pies and the chips. Every last bit of food that I like must be banished until all the additional ounces have vanished. I won't have a biscuit, not even a lick. I shall only chew on a celery stick.
You made that up?
No, I found it one and I adapted it.
That's really good.
So, Happy New Year, and you're allowed to say that until the 12th. I found out that today. So that poem kind of sums up the time of year it is when everyone is talking about detoxing, diets, decluttering, and it's all about what you can't do. I can't do this, I can't do that. So tonight I want to think about our business, if we've joined, if we're not, maybe just our lives generally, and thinking about it in a positive, I can and I'm going to do a few of these things just to make your new year start with a low calorie bang. So last year my keyword was sparkle, and it's funny because on Sunday night Fiona mentioned that as this year's, but I did that last year.
Is that old news, is it?
That's old news, that's right.
Yeah.
So if you want to, sorry,
She did a great job, didn't she?
yeah, Happy New Year.
That's sarcasm. No, you are. No, you are.
And the next one. As long as a clicker for these, isn't there?
What?
You can click it when you
I know, I tried to find one today and asked them, they didn't know what I was talking about.
So last year was about sparkling, but I have to admit, and some of you might relate to this, by Christmas time, I was feeling a bit more frazzled than sparkly. A bit frustrated, maybe some of us felt. I've had numerous IT issues with the website and they're being sorted now, but they've gone on since the beginning of November. Bit distracted, there's loads going on, it's such a busy time of year. You might have family coming, family you don't want to come, they're all coming to you.
I know the feeling.
So much to do. Live work, you know, a lot of us fit this around busy jobs. Children, families, and also sometimes you feel a bit apathetic, which is that take it or leave it. You know, you're not always feeling 100% enthusiastic and jumping around. So hopefully not, but that's 2015. So we're going to say goodbye to all of that. And I've got two keywords that I want to share with you for this year, which I'm going to use, and hopefully, you know, you all want to adopt it too. My keywords this year are excitement and grit. I had alternatives which I was going to use, which was passion and perseverance, but that sounded like Mills and Boon trashy romantic novels. I've got to come up with different words for that. But again, in my head, it's passion and perseverance. I'm thinking of Mr. Darcy now. So excitement and grit. So excitement. Why did I choose this? Yeah, I'm staying on the camera. Yes, it's start of a new year, clean slate, and tonight is just a few tips to help you feel excited and to have that grit. So excitement, personally I think that we can't inspire people that we meet and want to talk about this to, make them feel excited and help them build on excitement if we're not reflecting excitement ourselves, if we don't have it. So I think excitement's really, really important. And grit, old school grit, that's not the stuff that they put on roads when it's snowing and the chips are wintergreen. Grit is that determination to keep going despite the obstacles that are thrown at you. So it's that drive to keep plodding on, never quitting, and I think the two complement each other. I think that excitement keeps you going and keeps you in the business. So the quote I found that sums these two up is by Maya Angelou. I don't know if you've come across her, a lot of us did her at school. But she said, you can only be truly accomplished at something you love. So pursue the things you love doing and then do them so well that people can't take their eyes off you. So that quote kind of sums up for me what I'm aiming for this year. So how do you keep excited and gain those building blocks of grit through 2016? So I've come up with just 5 tips, 5 things that you can do this year that aren't too time consuming, not too complicated because we're all busy, and just things that I personally am going to work on this year. So that's me, Mrs. Incredible, and all of us here.
The hair's not right.
No, it's a bit too neat and tidy. Right, so the first thing I want you to do is think about the last thing, maybe something last year that gave you that little tingle. And Ian, I'm thinking of business tingle, not naughty tingle.
Yeah, it's business, don't you?
So think of a time when you felt that little tingle as it came. So things to do with your business last year. Maybe it was when you joined the business. Maybe it was when you signed up your first shopper, your first personal client, or when you read a book that just gave you that really positive feeling, or you went to an event. For me, it was going to one of my first region trainings. I think it was just over a year ago, and it was in a pub in a hotel in Oakham. And it was the first time, even more than signing up to do this, was looking around at everyone and thinking, wow, I'm part of something really special. I couldn't really put it into words other than that, but it was that positive.
Do you not get that at my region training?
Feeling. Well, it was the first one I've been to. It's that, you know, again, they're a bit old hat now, aren't they? So what I think we tend to do, and this has been borne out by a study in the workplace, is that we tend to, when we recount an event, we come up with 4 negatives for every positive thing we remember, and that's kind of human nature. So I want to train my brain to think positively about things and remember the good things that I do, the positive things that I do. Those positive actions then, I think, are a bit like a chicken and egg situation, but happy chicken, if that makes sense. So the more positive things that you think about, makes you feel better, and it makes you feel more confident, and then you're more likely to go out and volunteer to do something or take part in another positive activity. So it's a happy chicken and egg. Okay, so yeah, we spend time reflecting on positive events. From that, we identify our strengths, which in turn makes us feel good about ourselves and more confident, and that gives us the desire to push ourselves a little bit more and do something and do even better. So that's my first top tip, dwell on positives. Right, secondly is our why, and that reinvigorates all of us when we listen to each other's whys at these events. I love it. It's listening to people's stories about why they're here and what's driving them. But I wonder how often we revisit our own whys. I don't think about my why very often, and I wrote it down, but I'm just thinking, when was the last time I actually looked at it and thought about it? So I think that it's really important because it gives us our sense of purpose, and without a why, we do flounder. And I remembered preparing this 4 days after I was made redundant, where I did flounder completely because I had no why, no sense of purpose to drive me. So I'll explain that photo now. When I had no sense of purpose, no why, I ate my own weight in Jaffa cakes, and then I randomly messaged strangers asking if they would take me on to work with them. And I messaged.
What are you married?
I messaged a plumber from Wales and asked him if he'd train me to be a plumber, because I was panicking. I had no real concept about what my life was going to do. So anyway, he messaged me back and said, come stay in my caravan, I'll show you my pipes, and you go practice at home. So without a why, this is what happened. I spent one of those 4 days under my bath, and I took a tap off, changed it, and it's still there. So that when I sit in my Arbonne bar, is that what you're? Yes. I look at those taps and I think that was me without a why. That's when you're left flat. He's waiting for me to do the other one. So your why is what motivates and drives you. It gives you. I know.
How can you live like that?
I quite like it.
Why is someone on OCD to come to your house?
I don't tend to come over for a cup of tea and get in my bath. I'm sure you will. Yeah, so to me, and I look at it every night night when I'm sitting in the bath, that represents me without my why. And what Arbonne has done for me is given me a why. It's your sense of purpose, your motivation, and it gives you your drive. So I am going to keep looking back at my why regularly, because it's what keeps me going. On your vision board? No, I've still got to do that. Yes, yeah. Yeah, put some matching taps on it. Yeah. I don't like things that match, do I? So your why is what drives you, it motivates you, it keeps you committed to your dreams. And I also think that when we're excited by our whys, that's what people often buy into. They're not necessarily, they're going to love the products, but they're buying into us, and we get excited and enthusiastic when we talk about our why. I always do. And that's what people like, and that's contagious, I think. Is that the word you tell that?
You have to say that I'm doing my business because I want to replace my dad.
And I didn't want to spend a week in caravan with soul.
No, you want to pay somebody else to replace your taps on the bathroom. Just one tap.
Which one did you do, by the way?
Can't you tell that one? It's a new one, except it keeps going off to the left. So I just put cold water in my bucket to force it out. But I didn't tighten it up. I was under the bath for about 3 hours.
Has anybody paid you for your plumbing work yet?
No. So that's why I joined Arbonne as this is my plan B, rather because I'm no good at plumbing, and I contacted a tree surgeon because I'm good at climbing to do pole. And said, and I actually spent another couple of hours on my knee bought a chainsaw. So have a why, because your why is what drives you in the right direction. Arbonne is good why. Okay, so my next tip is use your nearest and dearest. So these low points that we have when we're feeling a bit flat and a bit frazzled, and those low points, they do come and go in your life, and I've been reading about that recently, and I've read that is inevitable. And someone I read said it's like the tide coming in and out. So when the tide comes in and you're feeling like you're drowning in it all, it will go out again, but it's what you do when the tide comes in. It's the action, things that you do. So over Christmas, I'd had a lot of IT problems on our website, and it was a bit quiet. I didn't have anyone new to talk to. So I used my nearest and dearest, my family. So anyone close to you, I just recommend just keep talking and talk your business, talk Arbonne to those that can't get away from you and you're stuck, especially at Christmas with them. So I chose my dad, who is waiting for a back operation and he can't even sit on a chair. So over Christmas, every room I went into, he's lying on the floor. I thought, right, well, I'll just talk to you about how I feel and how it's going. And I chose. You can't run away. He's got his ill hat on. In every room I went into, he's there like some drunken elf. But so he couldn't get away. So I just talked Arbonne to him. And my granny's 88, and I always talk about it. She's like my role model. She's 88, not very mobile, so she couldn't get away either. So I had a captain. So I just talked Arbonne to Granny and Dad, and the result is that today my Granny actually called me and said she's chucked out all her products with mineral oil and parabens in, and all her Vaseline that you were talking about, all her little tins.
That's Suzanne did so well not to mention the brand name.
I did, didn't I? Yeah.
Anyway, she's got rid of the whole lot, so it worked. And that gave me a buzz, and I was feeling excited again. So just talk to those closest to you if you don't have anyone new to talk to. And your family, they're there to support you, aren't they? Okay, so similarly, I've put the word reconnect. I find personally, when I'm feeling a bit flat with things, if someone said no to me, rather than shout for help or talk to someone, I tend to bury my head in the sand and just hope everyone goes away. So I'm working on this for me personally this year, is reconnect. And over Christmas, the trains were absolutely packed, the roads were gridlocked despite Skype, Facebook, Zoom, all these online communication methods. And it was because you still can't beat face-to-face contact to feel better. It does make you feel better most of the time when you meet up with people. So I think that this is a really good one for us to do every month, is just pick someone who maybe inspires us or shout for help. We've got a lovely network with lots and lots of amazingly positive people living locally. I'm thinking, well, I might just contact someone and say, oh, should we go for a coffee? And just, I think this is a business where we're building relationships. It's a personal business. It's not just an online business. It's all about personal connections and building relationships. And actually, when we meet up with people, all those non-verbal cues that we get from being with someone, they help build up that sort of trust and intimacy that we don't get online. So for me, I think, and for other people as well, I know that Gemma and Natalie up in Hartlepool are connecting locally with people that do R1 up there, because you can't beat the buzz you get when you meet people. So again, it's another tip is just meet up with someone every month. If you're feeling a bit flat, you need a bit of help, just shout up and pick someone and go and have coffee with them and reconnect with people face to face, because it does make you feel so much better. There are just for you, Danny, goals. Whenever I hear the word goals, I do because I find that I'm controlled by goals. I don't control them. If that makes any sense at all. I feel that I get sort of lost a little bit with them, and it's because I end up coming up with too many goals, multiple goals. You don't end up doing them all. You feel pooed because you've not done them all, or you try and do them all at once because you've not done them all and spread it out a little bit. And it's like multitasking. You mentioned multitasking earlier, Danny. I can't multitask. The last time I tried, I was listening to a SoundCloud on some RE9 products in the shower, had cake in the oven, and I forgot to pick my son up from the bus stop 2 villages away. So I was there looking for him in a village with no phone signal in my bathrobe, and the cake was burning in the oven. So some women multitask really well, and I can't. So what my tip is, don't have too many goals each month, just maybe have a couple. If you do them, that's fine, you can set yourself some more, but just have a couple. One of my goals each month is to increase my product knowledge. There are so many products, over 450, I think you're saying to that. So where do you start? So my idea is that everything I order each month, because I'm using it, I'll check it out, I'll find out a bit about it. If I'm using it, it's relevant. So, and I thought, well, do I order the same things every month? I looked around the house and thought, no, I've got lots of different things around the house that are all one. So I'm going to get a little notebook, and then each time I order, I'm going to just do a little bit of research of what I've ordered. So that's not rocket science, you know, and you might be doing that already. But for me, I just thought, well, that's one of my goals. Okay, so all those goals, what I did was put into my own little action plan, which is the next slide. And I know that Danny's got some more complicated action plans. But this is just something that I'm going to use for myself. So if anyone wants a copy, that's fine, I can email that to you. But for me, that's all those 5 things that I've identified, I've included in that action plan. So first of all, I've got my why, and it's quite generic, just in case anyone else wants to use it. So why I'm doing this each month: providing a secure future for my family, using safe and exceptional products, and supported by a growing community of friends. So that's my why in just one line. But I'll just keep looking at that then every month when I come to fill this out. And then a summary of the month that's gone before. I'm just going to put down things that make me feel good, things I achieved. So it might be a book I've read or something I've listened to, someone that I spoke to that made me feel really good about what I'm doing. It can be anything, it doesn't have to be complex. It's just anything that gave you that buzz that I mentioned at the beginning, that gives you that grit to keep going. And then my goals, I'm just going to give myself 2. I can add to it if I want to. 2 things that I'm going to do in the month. And then that reminder, people that I want to connect with face to face. So that might be someone in my team, it might be someone on the sideline, team, up, down, whatever. Someone who maybe inspires me that I think I could do with just having a bit of time with that person, because they always make me feel really reinvigorated. Or someone that I feel in my team, oh, I've not heard from them for a while. I'm just going to give them a call and see if they just want a coffee and just find out where they're at. So, you know, you can always think of people that you've not had much contact with for a while. So my 5 tips are incorporated into that. If anyone wants a coffee, then just let me know. Okay,
She'll pin it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, thank you.
She'll pin it.
Put it on the pin post. Yeah. Okay, next up we've got brand new district manager Emily telling her story.
Thank you. I can't believe she's got me up here when we're doing the detox. And I can't even have a quick drink before I get up on stage. So, but anyway, here we go. So, I know a few of you in here, but not everybody. But my name's Emma, and I'm an independent consultant with Arbon, and I'm now district manager. Very, very exciting, fantastic way to finish off last year and start this year. Literally, I think I completed at about 5 o'clock on the evening. So, but it was interesting. And even better. So, a little bit about me. So, I've had a fantastic career. For those of you who don't know, my industry is the beauty industry. I've had 20 years in the beauty industry and it's amazing. I love the industry. I've been able to work in top towns in London. I've worked on cruise liners. I spent 6 years travelling around the world on cruise ships and worked on to manager on that. And then I work at Gaol now as well, which is one of the top house bars in Europe. So and when I was there, I've been there for 14 years now. But 14 years, and I worked my way up again to supervisor in the King's department and also duty manager there as well. So I've had a really good career, very varied, really, really lucky, thoroughly enjoyed it all. Then my little Madam came along, who I think most of you know, because she is often coming to me with lots of events with me. So she came along and I made the decision to only go back to work 2 days a week because I wanted to spend more time with her, childcare reasons, etc., etc. For those of you that have got children in the room, you'll know exactly what I'm coming from. So that meant that I had to step down from my position, go back to a basic role, couldn't do the things that I was doing. I used to do a lot of training, a lot of mentoring therapists, a lot of helping people, earning better money, and of course that dropped down as well as working the less hours. So things became more of a struggle, and of course, as most people do when you get married and you buy houses and you finance cars and you get credit cards and all of those kind of things, and they still have to be paid off, and then you're not earning as much money, and you're thinking, oh dear, how are we going to do this? So I was looking to do something else. I was looking for something that was going to be able to give me that income, but something that was flexible and something that I could work around desk and I'm working at home. So I actually looked into a few different network marketing companies. I looked into Forever Living. I also looked into Temple Spa, and I had meetings with consultants and did a lot of research on various different things. And none of them really ticked the boxes like Arbon did. And I was watching Danny's posts on Facebook, and they all looked very interesting and really motivating. And I was feeling a little bit flat as well, especially having a child who seemed to be his mum and not you as you used to be. So I needed something more. So I thought, right, let's find out a bit more about it. So organised to go for coffee with Danny and Christine, which was absolutely hilarious, really.
It was very scary for me. It was the worst one-to-one I've ever done.
Yeah,
she asked me so many questions.
I thrilled her to pieces. Absolutely thrilled her to pieces. Danny explained the business to me, which I completely understood. I've been selling beauty products and recommending products for years and years and years now. So network marketing made perfect sense to me. But of course, as a therapist, it came down to the products. Is this stuff any good? Danny kept saying, but this network marketing is really good. Yeah, but what about this and what about this and what about this? Because at the end of the day, the bottom line for me, as a therapist, I've earned my stripes with products. I've been able to work with some of the top product ranges in the world. And to get involved with a product range that wasn't, up there with the best would just be a waste of my time, a waste of my ethics, and people would then just look at me and say, well, you're a beauty therapist and you're doing this. So it needed to be really, really good. So yeah, I grilled the pants off that and didn't know how
I wish you would record it.
it was in back on the light, get better. So a couple of days later, there was a blaze going on at the Hobby Horse, and Claire Shaw was coming along. So come to the Hobby Horse. Come and meet Claire Shaw. Everyone was like, Claire Shaw, yes, look. Come on to Claire Shaw will answer it all for you. So off I went up to the Hobby Horse and met the infamous Claire Shaw, and I was checking her out, completely checking on her skin, looking at her income, and scrutinising absolutely everything. Well, what about this and what about that? And everything that I threw at her, she threw back to me. And the technology, the FC5 to this day is still my favourite thing to talk about because of that fresh cell technology. When she showed me that, I just thought, okay, this is all right. This is good stuff. I've never come across anything like this in 20 years of using various different product ranges. The ethics behind everything, the fact that it's Swiss, the fact that the formulator of the RE9 range also formulated La Prairie, the fact that Sue Alexander is a name that I know very well in the beauty industry because she was one of the top people in Espa, which is a massive spa range, and she sold her shares in Espa to start her Arbonne business, and she's now one of our biggest trainers. So all of these things just made me think, yes. Okay, this stuff isn't rubbish. This stuff's pretty good. The more I've learned about the products over the past year is just adding to that. The fact that we're paraben free. This is a massive deal in the beauty industry. The big players, people like Eleanor, people like Becca, they are all reformulating their products paraben free. They can't scratch everything off and start again. They have to do it slowly and gradually and introduce new products that are paraben free. We've already got it. We've already done it all. We always have done it. So, the products themselves are so ahead of their time. So I just thought, well, why not? Let's, what have I got to lose? And I think what really hit the nail on the head is when I found out how much money Claire was earning. And I thought, she's probably been doing this now for 20 years. When I found out she'd been doing it 5 years, and she'd been earning 6 days of income, I nearly fell off my bus. We all did. Yeah, exactly. And for the first time, I just thought, geez, I can earn this. There is no job I can do in my industry that can earn me this. I haven't got to stay in my lovely little house. I'll be able to pay off my mortgage. I'll be able to get a better car. I'll be able to go on those family holidays more than, once every couple of years. I've got a daughter. She's my world. I want to be able to take her travelling, to do all of those things that as a mum, you want to do for kids. And so this is what it's given me. Yeah, that's it really. I was going to finish up with one little story about a couple of weeks ago. Me and Danny had a little bit of a road trip up to the input charts to discover Arbonne, which was very, very exciting. However, my husband was away, so I had no babysitter. They just had to come with me. Taking a 4-year-old to the input charts to discover Arbonne.
Somebody doesn't have children.
Yeah.
He gave out a children's warning at the start.
He did.